What's going on, folks? Painless. Been busy for the last couple weeks, a month or so. Was able to move into a new place. And this is the countdown, folks. I plan this time next year. I plan to be back in the mainland, back into the States. Switch positions. Many of you know I'm working for Uncle Sam, but I was able to get a promotion. I wasn't expecting it. Just kind of feeling myself out. I'm in the midst of really getting my paper together, so when I make this move, it's going to be effortless. It's funny. I had a couple offers to the mainland. One in Kansas City, one in Topeka, Kansas, and one in what was that other place? Topeka, Kansas, Kansas City, and Nashville, and one here. I decided to take the one here. It was a promotion again, and I can really save more money now. So this time next year, I plan to be back into the States, which brings me to this video. I haven't spoken on the Charlottesville tragedy, that happened a couple weeks ago. Let you know that things are tense, and it's kind of made me rethink about moving, but I'm going to move because you're going to find that type of behavior everywhere. You find it here in Hawaii, which I'll get to here shortly. And of course, they're in the 50 states, the 49 states. And you see the title of this video, with the Charlottesville thing, just to get back on that before I run off on a tangent. You have pockets of individuals that still hold these racist sentiments, these things that people thought that were gone. Now, I've always said this: the way that white supremacy, in terms of how it applies to black people, I don't believe in the way that most black people believe in. And let me explain on that. Black people in America are far more advanced, have far more education, are living in better conditions than generations back. I think you can't deny that fact. And I don't think that white people in general hold us back. And I've said this: well, Painless, what you mean by that? Well, let me explain this. Black people, while we have more now, excuse me, let me close this window. While we have more now in terms of education, notoriety, influence, black people were able to attain and accomplish some many great things under a system that was far more harsh, that being Jim Crow, that being pre-civil rights. We had black educators, we had black bankers, we had black communities in which we looked out for one another under way more harsh conditions. Now, I would say now things are more systematic, things are more institutionalized. You don't know who to trust in terms of white supremacy, those that believe in it. And I've never denied racism. I've never denied racism. And in some sense, I've never really denied white supremacy. Because you have white supremacy, it just means that you have Caucasian people that think that they're better. And I don't believe that holds black folks down entirely. Does it exist? Absolutely. I think it's more hard to locate now because many have traded in their hoods for suits. You have these white people now that are in bandanas and masks, and they could be your boss. They could be teaching your child at school, you know. And I think it's more cunning now. And I think, and with white supremacy, this is why I'm not going to, I'm not going to believe that white people, and this is not all white people, and this is not all black people, but I'm not going to give white people that much credit to think that they can hold me down. And well, Painless, that's you. You think like that, Painless. Well, brother or sister, I would encourage you to adopt that mentality as well. That they can't hold you down. And I see that a lot of black folk, we bring a lot of things on ourselves. Where's a black man or a black woman like myself, who's in his late 30s, who has his stuff or her stuff somewhat squared away, somewhat together. Where is he to go? And I'm a strong believer that black people in general, we have no allies, we have no friends. No matter where black folk, which brings me to this. They just had the McGregor and Mayweather fight. And I've said this because a thing about me, I've had the luxury to live around other groups of people, minority, non-white people. And I've expressed when I go to the gym, I can't tell you how many times I see these Filipino, Asian, or whoever guys when I walk in the gym. I can't tell you how many looks of hate, not hate, but haterism, because they don't have the size. And, I'm not about to go on to a, well, my dick bigger than theirs tirade. That's not what I'm talking about. But most guys, picture this. And I'm about to get back on this McGregor and Mayweather situation too. Well, the fight and my experiences and what I felt. This thing, you see, imagine you, a guy who doesn't necessarily have the physical prowess, the stature, the testosterone level. And you see these guys running up and down the field. You see these guys dunking basketballs. You see these guys performing, getting all the girls, the tough, hyper-masculine image that wasn't created by black. Well, I beg to differ. You see that image, and you see a guy who's not on TV and who's on the street. And I mean, I'm not C.T. Fletcher by any stretch of the word, but people think I'm an ex-football player or that I play football, especially here on off season, especially during especially when the NFL is done. I can't tell you how many times that I've been mistaken for a football player that's just in Hawaii on vacation. Oh, what team you play? You play ball? And it's little things, those assumptions like that, which strike peculiarity in a lot of non-black men. Like I went to the store yesterday. I went to Safeway. We have a lot of Safeways here. And I went and, I was making dinner. I went and picked me up. I picked me up like a half a case of beer and picked up me some vegetables. I made meatloaf and mashed potatoes and fresh green beans for dinner for myself. And, just the looks that some of these guys, now this is fresh after the fight the next day. You could just tell the disdain. And, a lot of people, and this is why I say a lot of black, especially black men, we have no friends. Don't be fooled, black men, by some of your friends that may kick it with you. They try to date one of their cousins or sisters. You'll see. But I could just tell the hate on some of these guys' faces because they were rooting for Mayweather, and a lot of minority people rooted for Mayweather. All these Filipinos over here, not all of them, but a good majority of them were rooting for Mayweather. And brothers, from McGregor. And let me tell you something, brother. You got a lot of these women out here that I personally know were rooting for McGregor, and it goes so deep, man, because and I know I'm all over the place, but some of you all who listen to me know what I'm talking about. You have a lot of women out here, white women, non-black women, non-white women, that have probably been done wrong by black men. And for Mayweather to get his ass whooped would have made them feel better. I believe that. And you got to be careful, brothers. You got a lot of these women out here, non-black women, that don't like black men, that really don't like black men. Like they want, not that they're not necessarily, not only because they're not interested, but they want to see you hurt. They want to see, for a variety of reasons. Maybe they've been fucked over by a black guy. And I've told you about these non-black women that think black men are super thirsty, super aggressive, and then when they give one a chance, they feel so hurt and angry because now they can't go back to their own men, that they want to seek out and hurt you. Black men, you need to be careful about your interracial relationships. These women will smile and lie in wait and set your ass up for the okie doke. And I believe that. But yeah, I saw a lot of these guys, some of these guys, and I just look at them and say, hey, you could look all you want. And because a lot of us brothers, we roam around by ourselves, and I see that also here in Hawaii too. A lot of guys over here have this MMA tough guy masculine feel about them, and they like to catch brothers by themselves. And when I was stationed here, it was a bunch of us. It was like the down south boys. I had partners from Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas, and when we rolled thick, these local boys didn't mess with us. But it was only when we was one or two, and it's like 10 of them. But when it's just us, when we about, and now this is in my early 20s, mid 20s, when we was about 10 to 15 deep, 20 deep, they ain't mess with us. And that's just how it, Hawaii, you got a lot of ignorant people in Hawaii that never left the island, and you got people that haven't even left their side of the island. And I encourage brothers, when you out by yourself, to be armed. The gunplay over here not really big, but when you're in the mainland, when you're in them states, when you by yourself, when you going home and your house, and you got to go home and you got to drive 8, 10, 15 hours, you need to have a pistol, because you don't know where you're going to end up getting stranded on them dark roads off the interstate, even on the interstate. But you need to be legal with yours. Have your paperwork all in order. But yeah, you have a lot of non-black women that have a disdain for black men. I see it too. It's like, I never seen a female hater till I came here. Because the thing about Hawaii is, you got a lot of, it's the Hawaii you don't see. You got a lot of broke, miserable people here, angry, especially if you military, you work for the government. I can't tell you how many times I done pulled up in my truck, my new truck, and see the hate, even from females, especially when they see, when a female know that, like with me, you can't just offer me pussy and I'm going to just bow down and want to do all this and that for you. And these women know that this, when they see me, they know that I'm better than them, even though they got that long hair, pretty face. And there's a lot of beautiful women here, don't get me wrong. But they know, when they see that, they just know. And they get an attitude about it. Especially me being a black man and I'm not thirsty, I'm not checking for them, I don't need them. Because a lot of women here in Hawaii, they live with their parents because they don't have a good job to stay, to rent by themselves. So they're kind of looking for a come up. And usually it's these, you know, and no disrespect to my white listeners, but usually it's a lot of these white guys that are caping and saving these Asian women over here, especially these Filipino women. That's what you have. I can't, and it's so obvious. I see these Filipino chicks that look decent with these slovenly, fat, warty, hairy white guys out here, and you just know that they're in it for the money. And I've seen Filipino, Asian women, local women here that are with some slovenly black men, greasy, sweating, look pregnant black dudes. And you know that they're just with them for the money. But yeah, you got a lot, and you got a lot of white, what I would perceive as ghetto, almost white trash type local people in Hawaii. Like they have the same feelings as white rednecks towards black people. And that's real. Some of you all who've been stationed there or who have really lived off base, off the grid in Hawaii, know exactly what I'm talking about. You got a lot of island trash here in Hawaii that hold the same sentiments as a white redneck from Arkansas. But then they try to copy our style at the same time. See, rednecks don't copy our style. White rednecks, you ain't gonna see him, but you got a lot of these, especially, Asians, they're copiers anyway. So you got a lot of these, especially Filipino, Vietnamese, they want to be black, but as soon as a black person walk in, who they can't pull that bullshit no more. They can't act. That's why you go some places here in Hawaii, and people still look at you like, what the fuck are you, like, what you doing here? Not so much what you doing here, but I can't believe you're here. I can't believe a black person did. And then they know they got to get right. So, it's the Hawaii you don't see. And they let their kids run around here, especially they got a lot of this group. I don't know if you all heard about, during World War II, they tested a bomb in the Bikini Islands, and it messed up a lot of these people. What happened is now Hawaii, the federal government says, well, Hawaii is the closest state or territory towards their islands. So now you got all these Micronesian people that come over here, and they're like Mexicans times 100. I mean, they just hang out all night on the stoops and drink, lay all over the car and drink and fight each other and all this stuff. It's like they straight out the damn jungle. Micronesians. And what you have a lot of animosity from Native Hawaiians towards Micronesians. So you got the Micronesians fighting the Samoans and the Hawaiians fighting each other, Samoans and Hawaiians fighting the Micronesians, the Filipinos fighting the Micronesians, the Filipinos fighting the Vietnamese and the Japanese. It's crazy here. It's the Hawaii you don't see. And you got a lot of broke, and you don't have, and one thing I give about Hawaii, you don't really have to worry about nobody shoving a pistol in your face, but you got a lot of petty ass drug, meth head crime here. So they'll bust in your window and steal a book bag versus taking the car, burning it or selling it, and then you get the insurance money. Now you just stuck because you done left your laptop in your damn backpack like a dummy. Now you don't have a laptop. Now you got to fix your damn car window because these dope heads, meth heads, then busted the shit out and probably sold it for some meth. So you got a lot of petty, irritating drug crime here in Hawaii. You know, like I said, motherfuckers just hang out because they ain't got no job and bumming your ass for cigarettes and shit. And this I call them nuisances. This like gnats. But yeah, you know, to get back, you know, and I went on that long illustration to show you that there's racism everywhere. But see, the thing about me, I know, and many of y'all know I'm from Alabama. I don't plan on going to Alabama. I plan on going back down south. It's funny, Houston and San Antonio were my top picks, but goddamn, with this damn Hurricane Harvey, I may be rethinking about Houston. But I want to go, I wouldn't mind, my picks are Houston, Dallas, San Antonio. I thought about Colorado. I stationed there, I had a blast. Somewhere down south. I ain't thinking about Atlanta, but I'm not going to throw Atlanta off the table. I would move way outside of Atlanta, or the DMV area, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, and maybe somewhere in the Midwest. Kansas City, and I know that was a choice, and the only reason I didn't have my paper right, I would have moved if I had my paper right, and many of y'all know I went through a divorce. If I had my paper right, I'd be doing this video in Kansas City right now, probably. Not sure would. St. Louis is a hop, skip, and a jump. I can get to Dallas easy, and you know, me living in Hawaii, shit, a $200 plane ticket round trip ain't nothing to me. I'll fly to Dallas, I'll fly to D.C., I'll fly to Atlanta and hang out for the weekend and bring my ass back home in time to go to work on Monday. So I ain't got to drive, you know. But yeah, if my paper was right, I'll be in Kansas City, KC Mo right now. You can believe that. But yeah, it's, you know, I look at like, where's the black man to go? With that being said about racism and white supremacy, where's the black man to go? Because we go to these towns, you think about a black family, you know, somebody my age who is married and has 3 or 4 kids, 2-3 kids, and he's successful, the wife's successful, and they don't want to live in freaking Atlanta, so they move out to the suburbs. And now they got to deal with these racist ass potential Klansmen when they just trying to find somewhere to properly raise their kids in a safe environment. Don't want to, and I look at myself like, I don't fucking want to move to Detroit where these Negroes is up here blowing each other's heads off. I don't necessarily want to move to Atlanta. Chicago, you can kill that noise. So, and this is what I spoke about when I really used to do videos with professional black folk. We kind of stuck because we can't live around you Negroes. We can't live around you because you're too dangerous. And when we try to move out and properly raise our kids without skipping over niggas in the parking lot, blasting their music, smoking dope, hanging out, looking at you all crazy, trying to see what you bringing in your house from the grocery store. I can't even bring a damn new TV because you niggas you Negroes is scouting and casing the joint. And now I got to worry about when I go to work, am I going to come home with my dough kicked in and my brand new TV gone? So I can't leave with you niggas. And I can't move out to the suburbs because I don't want to go home, or I don't want to wake up in the morning and see fucking nigger on my car, on my garage door. So, and the thing about, see, with shines and Negroes, y'all are so comfortable in that. And like I said about in Hawaii, there's so many poor, broke, dusty ass people that are this comfortable that they can't move anywhere else. And it's real isolated like that in Hawaii. Like rent is real. They keep people in a certain area. But people like myself, and it's not only white people, I mean black people, it's anybody with some education that's just trying to do something. We can't live around you. We can't live around you. You know, white people, you got rednecks and racist white supremacy types. And you got the white people who are professional, who can't stand those types of people. But see, the thing, they can go off and start their little enclaves and their little suburbs. But see, us, since the white people with a little bit of sense and understanding about the world, can't live around Billy Bo and Jim Bob. He can fucking go off and create a suburb. Me, who chooses, I don't want to live around Roderick and Kawan and Tasha and them. See, we can't go off and start ours. We got to go where John and Tom, who ran from Billy Bob and Jimbo, we got to run to their fucking suburbs. You know what I'm saying? And then when we do, we get that, what the fuck are you doing here, nigger? Look. I've seen it. So, you know, I ask, you know, where can black folk who are conscious and cognizant of what's going on, that are just trying to live, where the fuck can we go? And now they moving you shines out into the suburbs now, thanks to Section 8, where you guys can live next to me in my $210,000 home that I got to pay a mortgage on. Your ass is living over there paying $50 a month and getting the other shit subsidized. You see what I'm saying? And, you know, I don't like to use the term fair because ain't shit fair. Usually when you talk about fair, it means a third party is deciding what's fair for you. But where's the fairness in that shit? You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those conundrums, man, where you like, fuck. You know, I mean, I trip out, man. It's wild. It's really crazy and what's going on. But, you know, the only thing, you can't bitch about it. I can only bring it to let you know I see what's going on and do something about it. And I say the best thing to do is be armed, be emotionless. Don't be surprised if you get called a nigger or a monkey in 2017, 2018. Don't be surprised, because people prey off your emotion. If you act surprised, and because a lot of people know they can get a rise out of black folk. Not me, but I tell you what, you harm mine, you harm me, you put your hands on me, it's a fucking wrap. And that's it. You can talk all you want. And if you get into my space, it's a wrap too, because I'm entitled to a certain level of space where I feel safe. I'm not going to let you get in my face, because if you get in my face, I'm going to bank your ass. I ain't gonna wait for you to put your hands on me. But if some chance you wanna try to get at me from the back, or you wanna steal on me, you know, while I ain't looking, yeah, you're done. I'm gonna do you, cause I don't play those games and to start shit, and one of us gonna walk away and we gonna keep doing this shit when we see each other. I'm gonna do you right there. I don't have time for busting up my knuckles, and I can, but I don't have time for that. I'm almost 40 years old. I play to kill. All right, That's why it takes a long time for me to get to that point. I want to, you want to stand, you want to sit before a judge and say, Judge, I killed that man, and you know what? You didn't give me this time. If I can turn back the hands of time, goddamn, I would do it again, and we would be right back up in here right now. That's how you want, if that's how you would want to sit in front of a judge for killing somebody who was messing with you and had absolutely no right. You want to be able to sit in that jail comfortable, knowing you would do it all over again if it had to come to that. That's how I feel. But see, a lot of people, they play in these streets and they shoot somebody, they end up blowing some 5-year-old girl's head off, and then they crying because they was playing, they wasn't really with it. You want to be able to just squeeze the trigger in somebody's face and be emotionless when you do it, because they brought it on themselves. That's how I believe. Like, yeah, I blew his head off. And you know what? I did it again. Here, officer, here's his gun. So if you want to shoot me, all right, that's okay. But he did, and he deserved every goddamn last bit he got. That's right. That's how you want to be. But, something to think on. I want y'all to chew on that. Peace.